Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about Alexa Bliss formally aligning herself with the Fiend. All right, so we have to go all the way back to the swamp fight. All the way back into the swamp fight, Braun Strowman versus the Fiend in a swamp fight. Braun Strowman is wandering through the swamp. He starts to hear Alexa Bliss's voice. He's hallucinating. Alexa Bliss is telling him to, like, I know you want to be with me. I know you, we have a thing and blah, 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 blah. And Strowman's like, roar, roar. And, he's kind of spazzing out. And then the Fiend begins to sort of, uh, you know, the relationship between the two change because Strowman loses the match. He gets dunked into the swamp. Uh, Roman Strowman comes back angry as hell. And he blames sort of Alexa Bliss for this, that she's trying to manipulate him, that she's trying to use him because she's on the Fiend's side. That this is what Strowman thinks, and then and then the Fiend attacks Alexa Bliss. He puts her in the mandible claw, and then we get the weeks and weeks of build of Alexa Bliss being entranced by different things involving the Fiend. She's just, wandering, she's using the Sister Abigail. She's looking evilly at people. Her hair all messy. Now the Fiend's music is affecting her behavior. And so this week, October the 2nd, 2020, she's on the Kevin Owens show. Very weird that it was Kevin Owens that was out there. And Kevin Owens, they try to explain why Kevin Owens is there. They explain that, okay, well, Aleister Black went crazy for no reason. I don't really understand it. And now you're going crazy for no reason. Don't really understand it. So maybe the two people going crazy, one can help me learn why the other person has gone crazy. Which I don't see why, consider they going crazy for two different reasons. I don't see why that would be. Because Aleister Black went nuts because Seth Rollins stabbed him in the eye with some steps. That's completely different, And I don't believe that they fully fleshed that out, and they have talked about it as far as they let Aleister Black discuss why he did it, and I get it. I just don't understand why he blames Kevin Owens in particular. Like, if you want to say Aleister Black blames all of the supposed good guys, which include Kevin Owens, like he's just one of these guys who thinks he's a good guy, and he didn't come out and help him, then that it would make sense. But he blames specifically Kevin Owens, which is really weird. So he wants to peek behind Alexa Bliss to see if she might be able to explain why Aleister Black is going crazy. I don't see how that connects at all. Just it's not the same thing whatsoever. But Alexa Bliss basically just admits that she's fascinated by the Fiend, and she goes through this monologue about how the Fiend makes her feel, how she feels being in the Fiend's presence, and that admitted to being brainwashed by the Fiend, and that she's been cleansed by the Fiend. So we're going back to, I think we're going back to an Alexa Bliss that really didn't exist. Because usually when it comes to the Fiend, he regresses a character. He kind of takes you back to a heel gimmick. After he feuds with you, like he did with Daniel Bryan, like he did with Seth Rollins, he turns people heel or, something like that. So he has turned Alexa Bliss heel, which is really weird because the Fiend was kind of a face recently. They also did not do anything more with the wobbly walrus thing, but I'm pretty much they're just building up to that. So after she admits that she's been cleansed by the Fiend appears, and he attacks Kevin Owens, and Alexa Bliss gives the Fiend her hand, and now they're officially the Joker and Harley Quinn, and Alexa Bliss is fucking good. She is really good at playing. Like, see, I've been telling people for a long time, this is not new to me. This is not strange to me. There was a reason WWE was pushing Alexa Bliss so hard when she first came up to the main roster. She is very good. She's good. Now, is she the best wrestler in the world? No. But there was a reason Alexa Bliss was one of the few, besides Asuka, that was one of the 9 4 horsewomen that was getting a big push. She is very good as far as playing characters are concerned. She's good. I don't know how many times to say it. Like her initial heel character was really good. As a babyface, she was interesting, but she wasn't as good. But she did a great job while teamed up with Nikki Cross because she had somebody to play off of. Nikki Cross got to be manic and over the top and energetic, and Alexa got to be a little bit, a little bit snobbish, still kind of arrogant, but friendly in a way. Like she got to be the cute girl hanging out with the ugly girl, but with hanging out with the ugly girl, not to make herself look cute, but because she genuinely likes the ugly girl. And not to say that Nikki Cross is ugly, but Nikki Cross is, over the top. Nikki Cross is like what's that I think what's the chick's name from Saturday Night Live who put her hands under her armpits and sniffed them? I don't even remember what her name was, but the superstar. That's that Nikki Cross, like that's who she is. And nobody wants to be friends with somebody like that. So it was odd that they would be buddies, like an odd couple. And it added elements to Alexa Bliss's character. But they did a good job with this storyline over the course of the last couple of months of showing that Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman had a relationship or a friendship. And that friendship dissolved because Strowman became really, really paranoid and crazy. And then it pivoted to Alexa Bliss becoming friendly with the Fiend. Even though the Fiend attacked her, it was something that purified her. Something that showed her something deeper or something different. It unlocked something within her that now we're going to get to explore that, which is a different level and a different piece of Alexa Bliss. So this ought to be pretty fun. It's building up to the Fiend versus Kevin Owens for SmackDown, which is really, really weird because the Fiend wrestling on TV almost never happens. So I think this is going to actually be the Fiend's first match on TV. It ought to be fun. Kevin Owens is a decent opponent. I expect some fuckery. It's probably going to be some Aleister Black stuff that's going to happen. Or maybe the Fiend just wins because, and I think if I'm correct, what's going to happen? If you've been following the patterns so far, what's going to happen? Kevin Owens is going to turn heel. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think all of this is Kevin Owens is going to get drafted to SmackDown and he's going to be a heel. And he's not going to be the top heel, obviously, because Roman's still going to be there. So he's probably going to be the solid number 2 heel. And they're probably going to move Sheamus and Corbin and all those guys to Raw. But I like the idea of using the Fiend to turn Kevin Owens heel. And, separating him from Aleister Black. They're probably going to have the blow-off match between Kevin Owens and Aleister Black on Raw. Hopefully the Raw that's coming up and maybe not after the draft. Because I think Kevin Owens might end up being drafted to Raw. Or you could turn him heel on SmackDown or turn him heel on Raw by having him fight like, Drew McIntyre or something. But I think that Kevin Owens is definitely going to turn heel after this feud with the Fiend. And I think this was the catalyst for it. That Alexa Bliss explained to Kevin Owens what it's like to be in the presence of the Fiend. And now he's experienced it for himself. Now, like Daniel Bryan, like Seth Rollins, he has experienced, he's going to have this match with the Fiend. He's not going to win. And it's going to change him. He's going to come out changed. Just like Alexa Bliss came out changed. Just like Braun Strowman came out changed. It's going to change Kevin Owens. And I think they did this, and it was a good storyline reason, even though it made no sense for Kevin Owens to be on SmackDown. It made no sense. But for a story, it's perfect. Because once Kevin Owens is done with this Aleister Black stuff, he's really going to have reached the zenith of what he can do as a babyface. Because as long as he's still on Raw, Drew McIntyre is the top babyface. But Randy Orton is not always going to be the top heel. In fact, you may be looking at a time where Randy Orton is on the downslide. and getting out of being a top heel. So it might be a spot opening up as a top heel on Raw, or maybe that would be Kevin Owens. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.